and welcome to the Aunty Lisa show. Yes, let's see what we'll do a story about today. In the silver bag we have, ooh, a martian. Okay. And let's see, just one. Captain BlackPaw, the most dastardly dog pirate of the 7 seas. That is also a ghost. Right, in the red bag we have a pteranodon and Nanny and GugGug. Hang on a minute. I've not picked out us. Oh dear. Oh, there. Oh, purely by chance. Aunty Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer. That was lucky. Okay, in the bag of random things, a tunnel. Okay. And in this one, which I can't remember what's in it, travel and transport. So I keep looking out the window because there's loads of little birds. I've got birds on my bird feeder. Hot air balloon. Nice. Okay. Last one. Places. A swimming pool. Oh, it is so hot today. It would be lovely to be able to go to a swimming pool. But I don't have a swimming pool in my garden, so that's not happening. Right. One day, Aunty Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer were invited on a hot air balloon ride with Nanny and GugGug. Wasn't that kind? So, they packed a bag. It was a bag full of delicious snacks and treats and all sorts of goodies, as well as sensible things like a drink. And off they went to their hot air balloon lift-off site. Now, hot air balloon, I'm going to sneeze. Bless me. It's not powered by sneezes. A hot air balloon is a massive balloon that heats up because it has a big gas flame in it, and the air inside gets so hot that it rises up into the sky. They're cool and good fun, I believe. I don't think I've ever been on one. Maybe one day we should go. So anyway, Nanny and GugGug had planned an exciting trip on a hot air balloon for Kristoffer, Aleksander and Aunty Lisa, and they all arrived at the big field where the hot air balloon was ready to take off. And the hot air balloon pilot was called Paul. His name was Paul, the hot air balloon pilot. Paul the pilot. That works. Anyway, he was there. And he was like, hey, you guys, welcome to the world's best hot air balloon. And Aunty Lisa, Aleksander, Kristoffer, Nanny and GugGug all went, yay! And they all climbed aboard in the big basket that hangs at the bottom of a hot air balloon. And they got inside. And Paul, the hot air balloon pilot, started blowing the gas, the fire, into the hot air balloon, which is like, that's how you make the hot air balloon go. Big fire. Sounds really dangerous. Surprisingly safe, as far as I know. Anyway, gradually the hot air balloon went up and up and up into the sky. And everybody peered over the edge of the hot air balloon and looked down at the floor. And the floor was getting teeny tiny. All the cars were going by, they looked teeny tiny. All the trees looked teeny tiny. Everything got teeny tiny. It was super exciting. They could see for miles around. It was awesome. Now, everything was going really well. GugGug had got out his thermos and was just making a nice cup of coffee, or pouring out rather a nice cup of coffee for him and Paul and Nanny and Aunty Lisa. Aleksander and Kristoffer were on their second snack of the day. everyone was pretty happy until... What did they spy in the distance? Something very large was flying towards them. Kristoffer has a very keen eye for things of a prehistoric nature, and he spotted it first. And he went, look, look, look. And everyone went, what, Kristoffer? What is it? Oh, a nice bird. Yep, lovely. And Aleksander went, hang on a minute. That's not a bird. And Kristoffer went, no, it's a pteranodon. And everyone went, ah! A pteranodon? What? That's crazy. What on earth is a pteranodon doing here? Ugh, I thought they were extinct. Well, GugGug spilt his coffee. And he went, oh, Jesus Christ. And started huffing and puffing. And Nanny went, oh dear. Chris, what's going on? You spilt it all down your beige trousers. Oh. She was in a flat. Aunty Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer were just staring at this pteranodon. And Paul, the pilot of the hot air balloon, was absolutely dumbfounded. That means he was like this. And everyone went, Paul, Paul, are you okay? Paul, Paul, are you okay? Paul, Paul, are you okay? Paul, Paul. And then eventually he went, ugh. What is going on here? And everyone went, well, we think that over there is a pteranodon. And Paul went, oh no, not again. And everyone went, what? Not again? And he went, yeah. Oh no, not again. And everyone went, what do you mean not again, Paul? And then up ahead, through the clouds, they spotted something. Still up in the sky at this point. Pteranodon is fast approaching. They're all starting to wonder if pteranodons eat people or not. Nobody's 100% sure that they wouldn't try. What they are also worried about is the pteranodon might break a hole in the hot air balloon and they'll plummet to their doom. So, up ahead through the clouds, there's a pteranodon. Behind the pteranodon, there's a big, big tunnel in the sky. A vortex, if you will. A big swirling, whirling tunnel of doom. And they were headed right for it. Uh-oh. There was nothing to be done. It is impossible. It's one of the problems with a hot air balloon. You can't really very easily change its direction. Certainly not quickly. So, this is the chain of events that happened next. First, the pteranodon flew by. And as it flew by, its ginormous wing clipped the edge of the hot air balloon and burst a teeny tiny hole in it. And the hot air balloon started going pshh, and it zoomed like no hot air balloon has ever done, but quite rapidly for a hot air balloon, into that vortex, that swirling, whirling tunnel through the clouds that Paul, the pilot of the hot air balloon, was super terrified of. There was nothing for it. They all just shut their eyes and hoped for the best. And they went through the swirling, whirling vortex of doom. And it went and they went through the tunnel and out the other side. The hot air balloon still had a hole in it, and it went like a balloon when you've let it go. And it crash landed in a swamp. And everyone went, ah! And then realised they were still alive and went, oh, well, whew, that could have been a lot worse. Thank goodness we landed in this lovely squishy swamp. Whew. Wow. Now what? And they looked around, and all around them was a massive stinky swamp. As far as the eye could see, they were in a swamp. A big, stinky, wet, muddy swamp. And they went, oh dear, I wonder where we are. And Kristoffer had a little thought, and he looked around him, and he used his amazing knowledge of all the dinosaurs that have ever been and all the prehistoric animals, and he looked around and he said, well, I can see that dinosaur over there, and that dinosaur over there, and that one up there. And everyone went, They went, we're in the Jurassic era. And everyone went, oh no, not the Jurassic era. That's the worst one. And Kristoffer said, hey, it's not the worst era. It's a good era. There are some cool animals in that era. And Aleksander said, well, okay, but we are stuck here, Kristoffer. What if they don't have sausages? Kristoffer paused for a moment. He realised that would be terrible. He said, okay. We are going to have to think of an extremely cunning plan to get ourselves out of here. Now, at this point, Paul, who'd been a little bit quiet, piped up. And he said, you guys, I should probably have told you this before, but this has happened to me before. And everyone went, yeah, we kind of guessed, actually, because the way he went, not again! And he said, yeah, it's happened to me before. And they all went, okay, how did you get out of it? And he said, well, depends if you can keep a secret. And Aleksander and Kristoffer and Aunty Lisa and Nanny and GugGug all went, I think we can keep a secret. It's fine. And Paul said, I'm not really a person. And they went, what? Are you a ghost? And he went, no, not a ghost. I'm a Martian. And Aleksander and Kristoffer went, wow! And Nanny and GugGug go, no, you're not a Martian. And then he did this. And two little antennae popped out of his head like this. Bling! And they went, that's what you've been hiding under your hat the whole time? And he went, yep. And if you look at my fingers, one of them's super long and it glows. And they went, oh, that's cool. We believe you. You're a Martian. How does this help us? And he said, well, actually, I am good friends with... And he looked around to make sure there were no spies, which was doubtful because they're in the Jurassic era. Doctor Who. And everyone went, who? And he went, yes, Doctor Who. And they went, who? Doctor Who. Oh, Doctor Who. Oh, Doctor Who. Okay. Time travelling. Doctor Who saves the day. And he went, yeah, Doctor Who. Oh, thank God for that. Right. In that case, we need to get Doctor Who down here ASAP because, Kristoffer pointed out, there's a very hungry looking dinosaur over there and he's making his way towards us. And they went, no, not a hungry dinosaur. How many times? Right, so Paul got out what looked like the coolest phone you've ever seen, except that it glowed in the dark and had some kind of laser thing that meant that you could see a hologram of someone in front of you. And he went beep, 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 beep. He said, I'm just ringing Doctor Who. And everyone went, okay, do it quick. And then, bling, hello. And everyone, oh. He said, well, Doctor Who currently is a woman. And Doctor Who said in a hologram, hey, what's up, you guys? And they all said, well, we're in a bit of a fix. We're being transported through a vortex tunnel into the Jurassic era and a big dinosaur wants to eat us up. And she said, No problem. I'll be there in a jiffy. The big dinosaur was getting super close by now. And they were like, "Ee!" Aleksander and Kristoffer started throwing sausages at it. GugGug threw his thermos. Dinosaur was not impressed by the thermos. He went, ow. But it did like the sausages. I was like, nom, 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 nom. Aunty Lisa threw some chocolate. Nanny threw a cake. It almost looked satisfied, and then it went, I realised it wanted to eat a juicy human being, especially a little boy one. And it was coming closer and closer and closer. Everybody had run out of things to throw at it. They could smell its stinky dinosaur breath and see its ginormous dinosaur teeth as it got closer and closer and closer. And it was like this. Just as it was about to try and take a bite out of the basket that everyone was hiding in. Do you know what happened? A TARDIS fell on it. Splat. Dinosaur splat. That was the end of that dinosaur. And out of the TARDIS, which, by the way, looks like an old phone box, which none of you will know what it is, but it's like a box that was in the street before people had mobile phones. It's a blue box that you can stand inside. And out pop, "Hey, I'm Doctor Who. Who needs some help?" And everyone went, "We do! Come and help us, please. I was so grateful. You squashed a dinosaur, by the way, Doctor Who." And Doctor Who went, "I didn't mean to do that. I generally don't kill things unless they're actually trying to eat me." And Kristoffer said, "He was trying to eat me." And Doctor Who said, "Well, okay, that's fine then." And then they all hopped out of the basket for the hot air balloon that was now completely sinking into the horrible, disgusting, stinky bog, and climbed inside the blue box that was called a TARDIS. And they went indoors, shut the door behind them, and then they all went, "What?" Because you know, inside a TARDIS, it's massive. The box on the outside is tiny. You go inside, it's massive. Outside, tiny. Inside, massive. It was enormous. There was all dials and lasers and lights and all kinds of cool stuff. Paul was overjoyed to see his good friend Doctor Who again. Paul was like, "Hey, high five, Doctor Who. So great to see you again. Thank you so much for rescuing us again." And Doctor Who said, "You know what, Paul? I'll always remember that day you rescued me on the planet Mars." And Paul said, "You're right. That was a tough day. But we got through it." And everyone went, "Wow, you guys, you've got some history. There's some stories to tell there for sure." Anyway, Doctor Who said, "Right, you guys, it is time to get you back home." And they went, "Yay." And she said, "Hold on tight." And then she went, and the TARDIS, which is that blue box, went and spun round, and everyone went, and tried not to be sick. And then before they knew it, they were zooming back through a vortex, a swirly whirly tunnel of scariness. And it popped out into current day time. And the TARDIS flew through the sky. That seemed like a good idea at the time. Probably should have just made it land somewhere sensible, but that's not what happened. It flew through the sky over a swimming pool. Everyone in the swimming pool went, "What?" Over the swimming pool, and landed in the sea. And then everyone went, "Oh no, Doctor, it's all gone wrong." And Doctor Who went, "Oh, I must have miscalculated something here. Hold on." And then she went, "Can anyone smell salt?" And they went, "Yeah, we're in the sea, Doctor." Aleksander and Kristoffer peered out, and water started gushing in. Out in the gloom, they could see Captain BlackPaw, the most dastardly dog pirate of all time. He went, "Ahoy there, ahoy! What you be doing in this blue box of doom landing on top of my shipwreck?" And Aleksander and Kristoffer went, "Okay, bye!" shut that door quick as they could. They didn't want to start up a fight with Captain BlackPaw so late in the story. That would be crazy. And then, just as Captain BlackPaw was trying to grab hold of the TARDIS with his scary ghost hands, ghost paws, the TARDIS went and it landed in Nanny and GugGug's back garden. Everyone climbed out in a bit of a daze. Woo! What an exhausting whirlwind of a trip. Nanny and GugGug said, you know what, you guys? Hey, Doctor. Hey, Paul. Would you like to have a cup of tea and a piece of cake? I think I've got another cake stored in the freezer, said Nanny. And they all said, that would be wonderful. So then they all had tea and cake in Nanny and GugGug's garden and listened to all kinds of stories from Doctor Who and Paul and their adventures in outer space. And that is the end of the story. Night night. Love you.